I want to bring to you a series on virtual open houses. I think that virtual open houses are something that are not just starting to become the normal during our stay home, stay healthy order, but I think these are the items that can be in your tool belt for the duration of your career moving forward. I strongly believe that virtual open houses are something that won't be going away. And so it's really important that you get comfortable with this new platform. There's good ways and bad ways to be doing a virtual open house. I've been doing a lot of research over the last several weeks. That's why I haven't just pushed out, here, do this really quickly, because what I want to do is help you do this well, help you stand out above the rest. And what I've seen is a lot of people going live or doing a virtual open house that is 3-4 minutes long, that is really choppy video. It almost makes you feel like you're getting vertigo. And they're not really taking the opportunity to educate the clients about the home. They're not really putting the home in the best light they possibly could. So what I want to do is a 3-step virtual open house video training. And so the first part of that will be setting up the virtual open house, getting it assigned on a platform, making sure that you're getting it posted on all of the proper channels, and then promoting that open house and using that in a way for some lead capture and some lead generation. Remember when we used to do open houses live, people would walk through the house and it would give us an opportunity to build those relationships. Well, we still have that opportunity, we just have to execute correctly. The second step in this will be getting yourself and the home ready for a virtual open house. Getting yourself ready means understanding and knowing how to execute Zoom or whatever platform it is that you're going to do this on. But if you're going to be doing this live, you need to know how to manage questions that are coming in, how to manage multiple attendees coming in, and kind of what's happening from their angle. In addition to that, you need to know kind of what your script's going to be for going through the home, what's the map going to be for that walkthrough, and then how to troubleshoot some of the things like people coming into the Zoom late, and then getting the house ready. So making sure that we have all of the proper doors open, lights on, and that all flows well with your plan. And then the third step will be execution. So how do we actually execute the virtual open house, the live virtual open house, and then some follow-up, like what do we do when it's over and we've gotten some of the information from the attendees. There's a huge opportunity here, and I'm really hoping that through this training you'll step out of your comfort zone and try something new. It does take practice, I will not lie. I have gone to homes and practiced, and it does feel a little different and discombobulating, but didn't it when you first got on a Zoom feel that way? Or the first time you had to send something digitally to somebody? The reality is everything that we do that's new feels a little awkward at first. But the more we do this, the better we're gonna get at it. So I'm really hoping that some of you will adopt this, and I look forward to working with several of you. So stay tuned, we're gonna jump into this step 1, which is getting everything set up for your virtual. The thing that we're gonna do is set up the platform in which we're gonna use for going live. There's a lot of platforms. There is Zoom, there's Microsoft Teams, GoToWebinars, GoToMeetings, WebEx, Skype, JoinMe, BlueJeans, Zoho, House Party. I mean, there's a lot of platforms. What you need to decide on is what platform are you most comfortable with. I prefer Zoom. I have found that it has the least amount of problems with downloading, the least amount of problems with audio problem. So that's why I'm going to use Zoom. But you could use another platform, and you just need to get yourself very comfortable with that platform. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my virtual open house. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to log into my account, and I'm going to schedule a meeting. Now, one thing that you need to know is that for free Zoom, your meeting time is only good for 40 minutes. So you would only be scheduling your virtual open house for 40 minutes. If you pay for the service, then you have unlimited time, and you can also record those and store them. So some features that you're not able to do when you don't pay for the service. So up to you on what you want to do there. I think 40 minutes for a virtual open house is probably good enough. And I will say that it will feel longer than 40 minutes. It will fly by, but you will be exhausted the first few times you do this. So for the topic, I'm going to put in the address. And then in the description, what I want to do here is make sure that I don't give the full description of the house, but that I give them something to work off of. So join our virtual open house to live tour this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in the heart of the city. And that's all you really need to say. You're giving them the address, you're talking about this, then we're going to select our date and time. So let's just pretend we're doing this on Saturday and that we're going to do this at 1 p.m. And then you'd set your duration here. So again, if you're using the free version, 40 minutes, it's going to kick everybody out. So you want to make sure you're very aware of that so that at the 30-minute mark, you're able to take questions or to connect with anybody for showings that they might want privately. When we come down here and we say registration, you want to require that. That's how we're going to capture email address. Meeting ID will automatically generate if you have that selected. And it's up to you if you want to have a meeting password. The reality is we're going to admit people in, so we'll know who registered and admit them in. And you want to be really careful because there has been some security issues with Zoom and other platforms where people are able to get into meetings and they like scream profanity or they flash something inappropriate on the screen. In all the Zooms I've done, have only one time had somebody try to access a Zoom that I was like, I don't know who you are, so I didn't let them in. So we're going to go ahead and potentially require a password to just make it more secure. Know that on the consumer side, this can be a little harder. So what I'm going to do is take this off and I'm going to just let them stay in a waiting room. And then I'm going to admit people as they come in. If I'm going to have somebody else with me during the open house who maybe could field my chats for me or are going to help me, I would put them as an alternative host, but they have to have a Zoom account. So keep this in mind. And then all we're going to do here is save it. Once you save the Zoom, I'm going to copy the invitation over here on the right side. Okay. So it's going to show me this. I don't really need all of this information. All I need is this registration link. So I'm going to copy that by hitting Control-C, and then I'm all done there. The next thing I'm going to do is set up on Facebook. I'm going to set up an event. So when you're logged into Facebook, down here on the left-hand side, you're going to see events. Private event, which will only show people who you invite, or a public event. Well, we obviously want to get this out to the public. So we're going to do a public event, and then who's going to be hosting this? And I would say that you as a real estate broker want to do that. And then put the photo of the home here. So I just pulled one of our listing homes, and it needs to be a size picture of the home. And then the event name. Virtual open house, and you have 64 characters. Beautiful living. And then we're going to say that this is an online event only. And then in the description, we're going to take what we wrote here, right? And we're going to add that to this. So I'm going to go down one line, and I'm going to say, register to attend this live open home house. Link below. An invitation to Zoom will be provided once you are registered. And then I'm going to copy that in. I'm going to go back to my Zoom and I'm just going to copy and paste this in the description above that. Okay. Select our category. This one's interesting. What's our category? So what are we doing? And I like to put home. There's also the option of doing shopping, but I think home is good. And then we're going to do our start time and our end time. So this is going to be from the 16th at 1 p.m. to the 16th at 2 p.m. And then if there's a co-host, you can name them here. If you had a schedule of events, which we're not going to do here. And then there's also this ability for admission to do it via ticket. And so this is where you would put a plus button, and then we would add that URL again. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to copy that URL, and I'm going to paste it here. And then this is about posting on here. I do want to make sure that people can ask me questions via Messenger, and I don't really care if the guest list is showing. So I'm obviously not going to hit create on this. I'm going to hit save draft because I'm not ready to post it just yet. So you can see as a draft what this looks like. So I've got my virtual open house, beautiful downtown living, the dates showing here, the times here. Then people can just register right here from the description, or they're going to be able to go into the ticket option. Either way, they're going to be registering at the same place, so you're going to be able to be notified about that, okay? So let's just say that you put your draft in here and you come back into Facebook and you're like, I don't know, you know, that's where you posted it. You're going to go into your, oops. You're going to go into your business page. It was slow and I was being impatient. And then you're going to come down to events, and you're going to see right here that you've got a couple of things in your drafts. And so this is the one that we just drafted. So I can come in here and I can edit the event, or I can publish the event, either way. Once it's published, then it's going to be shown to everybody in the public who's looking up events. And then we'll talk about how we can share that as well in a minute, okay? Okay, so then the next thing you're going to want to do is take that link and add it to the Northwest MLS live streaming open house option. So as happened. However, now they have a spot where you can put, if you have a live stream open house and you're able to put your link in there. You can do it for brokers to see, or you can do it for the general public to see. I'm a big fan of you doing it for the general public to see, because that will feed out to everybody else's websites. So the instructions there, if you go into the MLS and write virtual open in here, it will come up. Or it's also on their main page. So if I'm on the main page and I scroll down a little bit, it will be right here, showing time virtual option. Oh, sorry, right here. Right here, live streaming open houses. Actually, there's a whole bunch of information here about what it's like to do a virtual options. So just so that you know, all of that information's there. And then there's also some instructions, and I'm going to go ahead and link those down below this video so that you can find those, okay? So that's the next thing we're going to do. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a copy of that link and we're going to send it to the office, and we're going to let the staff know that we're doing a virtual open house with the date, time, and link. And then they're going to be able to add that link into the Century 21 system, which will then feed that out to places like Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com and all of the 400 sites that things are published on. So it's going to help gain exposure. Okay, so those are the things that we are going to do to get set up. So again, we're going into Zoom, we're setting up our virtual, we're taking that link, we're putting that onto Facebook, we're then putting that link into the Northwest MLS, we're sending it to the office, those 4 places. Now, the other thing that you can do is promote this on Instagram, Twitter, any of your other places by putting together an invitation, a picture of the house with some text over it that says virtual open house. Okay, so in order to add this to Instagram, we have to make a visual presentation of it and then put our link to our registration in the bio itself. So I like this app called WordSwag. I do believe that it costs about $4.99 to download, but it's very easy to use. So once I open WordSwag, then I'm going to hit the camera roll up in the top right hand corner, select the picture that I want to use, and then you can see down here at the bottom it's going to give me templates, either Square or Instagram stories. Square is what Instagram wants on your news feed, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the crop button, and then we have all these options down here of different fonts that we can use. And what I like is there's one called Captions 1 and Captions 2, so I'm going to there's a ton that you can play with, but Caption 1, and then I double tap on that, and then I'm able to edit my verbiage. So I'm going to say virtual open house, and then when I click on this, I can hit save and close, and it's going to create that, and then I can click on or just put my finger on that and drag that wherever I want. So I'm going to put it up here, and then I'm going to hit the plus button, and I'm going to be able to put more information. So now I'll put the date, May 16th, 1 p.m., link in bio. And then I'm going to save and close that. That isn't the same setting. So I had that on a different, a different setting down at the bottom here. So I'm going to find the one that fits right. You know, this isn't horrible, but it's definitely not my favorite. So I'm going to see what I can find that would fit better for this verbiage. Also, just so that you know, you can make these smaller or bigger by just pinching the screen. So I'm still not loving that one. This one I like. So this is Lucky Stripes. So I'm going to actually make that a little bit smaller and put it in the right hand corner. I'm going to hit save. And then if you have this app, you can share it directly. I can hit share, and it will ask me where I want to share it. So I could put it into my Instagram feed right here. I can then add whatever kind of information, blah, 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 blah. Come check out this 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful home, blah, blah, blah. And then I want to make sure that I go into my bio and add that link in there. I don't know or feel at this point that it makes a lot of sense for you to do door knocking the neighborhood to let them know about an open house. But I think that there is a possibility of creating some future signage that you put out to promote that virtual open. And you could also put it on your flyer. Now, putting it on your flyer, this is a crazy long URL that nobody's going to type into their computer. So I want to show you one more trick. And that is to take this URL and copy it. And then there's a site called tinyurl.com. And when you go to tinyurl, and then what happens is it gives you this little URL right here. Okay, so would that huge long one that Zoom provides you. So if I open a new browser and I put that in, what it's going to show you is my meeting registration. Pretty cool. I also didn't mention LinkedIn. You can put this on LinkedIn as well. So lots and lots of opportunity for you to get that all set up. Okay, so what I want to show you now is what happens when a consumer registers for your virtual open house. I think it's really important that you see what happens on the consumer side, and then I'm going to show you how to see who's registered. So when they've used your link either in the Facebook events or through, they found the link on Zillow because you had sent it to the office, or they saw it in your Instagram bio. It doesn't really matter. They're going to register here, and I'm going to use Stephanie. And they will have to claim that they are not a robot, and then they're going to hit register. What's going to happen then is that they're going to get a registration confirmation that says you're registered. They can add it to their calendar, and then it's going to give them a URL link right here of how to access that, okay? So from your angle, you've created this Zoom, and what I want to show you is what this looks like. So you'd go to My Account, and you would go to Meetings. You would find that specific one. So that's this one right here, the one that you created, and you'd click on here. When you scroll down, you're going to see that 3 people have registered, and I can click over here to see a view of who those people are. So I can see that Joe Smith, Jane Johnson, and Stephanie have all registered. What's really cool is that right before the event, I can click here and I can resend the confirmation email as a reminder to everybody about the event. So that's one thing that you can do, but also you now have their information. And one of the things that I think would be really cool, and I'm working on, I'm not there yet, and don't let it stop you from executing this now, is if you sent an email that gave them a link to a video that showed them how to use Zoom on their computer and how to use Zoom on their phone. Because if somebody's never gone to a Zoom, they actually have to download the software and they may not know how to do that. So I'm actually working on a video that will just be a couple minutes long that you could send out to consumers specifically on what that looks like. But this is what it would look like. And hopefully your registrations will be higher than 3 people. I think that they will be, but this is what you would actually see, okay? The other thing that's really cool, if you have a paid Zoom, and I actually have not taken advantage of this, but will be taking advantage of it today, is that you can see down here, there's a button that says branding. You can upload a banner and your logo. Very, very cool. So you can brand this to you, and I would highly recommend you do that. The email settings is just saying, you know, who's the contact for this, okay? So that's what those items are. Okay, so that is step 1. I know that was a lot of information, but I know there's a lot of pieces to it. So I've created a checklist for step 1. We're going to create the Zoom or the other platform that you're going to use and the registration link. We're going to get this onto a Facebook event and we're going to share that out. We're going to add it to the MLS. We're going to turn it into the office where we're going to be able to put it into the Century 21 system. We're going to add it to all of our social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever platforms you utilize. We are going to put it onto our flyer and potentially create a sign outside the house to promote the virtual the virtual tour as well. The other thing that you can do is ask the homeowner to share it to their social platform as well. They might know somebody who's looking to move to the area. They might be able to share it in a Facebook group that they're a part of. So share that link out as much as you possibly can. We will also put it on the new Century 21 virtual tour site that was launched, which I'm going to do a special little tutorial on separately from this 3-set series. So the next piece to this will be a step 2, and that's going to be about getting yourself and the house ready for a virtual open house.